It's your soul reminding you that this version of life, this muted, diluted version, is not your final form. You were meant for more. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the courage to start thinking like you matter. When you stop expecting the world to carry you, you begin building the strength to carry yourself. That's when the breakthrough happens. Not when things get easier, but when you get stronger. It's not the absence of struggle that defines you. It's how deeply you're willing to fight for the life that actually feels like your own. You can have peace, you can have purpose, but you must first believe that you're worthy of both. That belief doesn't come from applause. It comes from effort. It comes from showing up for yourself, even when no one else is watching, especially then. This is where transformation begins. Not in a perfect plan, but in a powerful decision. A decision to stop living by default and start living by design. A decision to turn the pain into power, the doubt into discipline, the fear into fuel. You weren't born to be average. You weren't made to just survive. You're here to rise, to become, to evolve. But first, you have to stop waiting for someone else to choose you. You have to choose you. And when you do, everything changes. You'll stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. You'll stop reacting and start creating. You'll feel yourself becoming the person you've always known you could be. Strong, certain, focused, alive. That version of you is already there. Underneath the layers of doubt, behind the fear, beyond the noise. You don't have to find it somewhere else. You just have to stop abandoning it. Because the moment you start thinking about yourself, not once, but always, is the moment you begin to live a life worth waking up for. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Most people are afraid to think about themselves because they've been told it's wrong. They've been conditioned to believe that putting themselves first means they're selfish, that setting boundaries means they're cold, that wanting more means they're ungrateful. So they silence their needs. They deny their dreams. They convince themselves that settling is noble. But the truth is, you cannot serve from emptiness. You cannot lead from exhaustion. You cannot give what you don't have. You are not meant to carry the weight of the world while ignoring the weight inside your own chest. Thinking about yourself isn't betrayal. It's responsibility. It's responsibility. You are responsible for your life, for your energy, for your happiness. And the moment you accept that is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. There is nothing noble about burning yourself out for the sake of appearances. Nothing strong about pretending you're fine when you're falling apart inside. True strength is honesty. It's being real with yourself. It's looking in the mirror and admitting what hurts, what feels wrong, what no longer fits. That takes courage. But that's where healing begins. When you start to put yourself at the center of your decisions, not to hurt others, but to finally honor yourself. You stop apologizing for being human. You stop asking for permission to exist. You stop living someone else's version of life and start building your own. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone the parts of you that you need for yourself. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Chasing your purpose is not arrogant. Wanting to be more is not a flaw. It's your nature calling you forward. You were born to grow, born to stretch, born to rise. That growth will cost you your comfort, but it will give you back your fire. It will return to you the version of yourself that you buried beneath years of pleasing, pretending, and postponing. Every time you say yes to things that drain you, you say no to the life that fulfills you. Every time you silence your voice to avoid conflict, you create conflict within. And every time you hide your truth just to fit in, you lose the very thing that makes you powerful. It's time to stop. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to live a half-life. You were made to shine, to lead, to love yourself enough, to be fully alive. Choosing yourself isn't a moment. It's a mindset. It's a daily decision to stand for your worth, to protect your time, to live in alignment with your truth. You are allowed to outgrow who you were. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to want more, need more, be more, be more. And it all begins when you stop running from yourself, when you stop minimizing your light to keep others comfortable. You were not put here to dim. You were put here to burn bright. Think about yourself every day, without guilt, without apology. That's not weakness, that's power. When you begin to think about yourself without guilt, something incredible happens. You stop asking for clarity from people who've never walked your path. You stop searching for answers in places that were never meant to hold your truth. You stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want more. Because deep down, you already know. You've always known. The dreams that keep calling you, the voice that keeps whispering there's more. It's not just noise. It's your soul reminding you of who you were before fear told you to settle, before pressure told you to shrink, before the world convinced you that fitting in mattered more than becoming whole. You are not here to live life halfway. You are not here to silence your truth to keep the peace. You are here to become fully, unapologetically alive. And that starts when you stop outsourcing your decisions. No one else gets to decide your worth. No one else gets to choose what's right for you. Your intuition is not a mistake. Your vision is not too much. Your feelings are not wrong. You were built to lead your life from within. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let them be uncomfortable. You weren't put here to meet expectations. You were put here to break them. You will never build a life that feels right if you keep living by rules that never belong to you. You don't have to follow the path they chose. You don't have to fit inside the box they built. You are allowed to walk away from what feels wrong, even if it's all you've ever known. You are allowed to rewrite the story, even if you were taught to stay silent. You are allowed to protect your peace, even if it means disappointing a network error occurred. Please check your connection and try again. If this issue persists, please contact us through our help center at help@openeye.com. Choosing yourself doesn't mean ignoring others. It means no longer ignoring yourself. It means no longer putting your needs at the bottom of every list. It means no longer making yourself small just to be accepted. You've done that long enough. You've played the part. You've kept the peace. You've blended in, smiled through the silence, buried your voice to avoid making waves. But what did it cost you? How much of yourself did you have to lose just to make everything look okay on the outside? How long have you been waiting for someone to notice that you're tired of carrying what was never yours? It's time to stop waiting. Time to stop asking the world to validate a life it doesn't have to live. You don't need permission to honor your own path. You don't need approval to let go of what drains you. You are allowed to think about yourself, not because you're selfish, but because you're done pretending that your happiness doesn't matter. Because you finally understand that when you shrink yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown, you don't just lose your spark, you lose your identity. And no goal, no job, no relationship is worth that kind of silence. When you begin to think about yourself, you reconnect with your center. You start seeing through the noise. You start feeling the truth again. The truth that your time is limited, that your energy is sacred, that your life is not a rehearsal. Every day you delay your own growth is a day you hand away your potential. Every time you say yes out of fear, instead of alignment, you drift further from the life that was meant for you. But that can end today. You are allowed to come home to yourself. You are allowed to take up space in your own life. You are allowed to rebuild from the inside out. Thinking about yourself is how you protect your future. Because if you keep abandoning yourself now, you will wake up years from today wondering where your life went. Wondering what it could have been if only you had believed in your right to choose. Regret doesn't show up overnight. It builds slowly in the background of every unspoken no, every quiet compromise, every day you spend surviving instead of living. But the good news is, it's not too late. You still have time. You still have breath. You still have the power to change. Start by listening to your own voice again. The one that knows. The one that's been waiting. The one that's been whispering, even through all the noise. This is not all there is. There's more in you. More strength. More clarity. More life. And you don't have to earn the right to access it. You just have to remember it was always yours. Let that truth rise. Let it guide your next step. You're not being selfish. You're being honest. And that honesty is your way forward. Think about yourself, because your future depends on it. You are not lost. You are buried beneath everything you thought you had to be. Beneath the expectations, the pressure, the pretending. But your real self has never left. It's still here, waiting. Not for a perfect day, not for the right timing, just for your permission. You don't need to be anything more to start. You only need to stop abandoning who you already are. There is strength in you that you haven't accessed yet, not because it's missing, but because you've been too focused on being everything for everyone else. It's time to turn inward. Time to protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. If you don't think about yourself, life will think for you. It will hand you a path, a pattern, a script. It will feed you a story about what's safe, what's acceptable, what's realistic. But safe doesn't mean fulfilling. Acceptable doesn't mean right. Realistic doesn't mean aligned. You don't have to follow the story you were handed. You're allowed to rewrite it. You're allowed to question the things that drain you. You're allowed to change direction, even if it confuses people. You weren't born to explain your evolution. You were born to live it. Thinking about yourself isn't a pause in your journey. It is the journey. It's how you find clarity. It's how you make decisions that match your future, not your fears. It's how you break cycles that have been passed down for years. You cannot heal what you continue to avoid. You cannot grow if you refuse to listen to what you really need. And you already know what that is. Deep down, you know exactly what you've been craving. Peace, space, honesty, alignment. You've just been waiting for the world to tell you it's okay. But that approval will never come. You don't need it. What you need is your own courage. Courage to set boundaries. Courage to walk away from roles that no longer serve you. Courage to say, it isn't me anymore, and mean it. Your future doesn't come from comfort, it comes from choices. The kind that stretch you. The kind that scare you. The kind that remind you you're alive. It's not easy, but it's real. And real is what you've been missing. Not a bigger title, not more recognition, just real. Real connection with your values, real time for your well-being. Real purpose in your steps. You don't need to explain why you're choosing yourself. You don't owe anyone a version of you that destroys your spirit. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. You're already worthy. You always have been. Thinking about yourself is not turning away from life. It's turning toward it, toward the life that was always meant for you. Toward the strength you forgot you had. Toward the clarity that comes when you finally decide that your own voice matters most. Start there. Stay there. Everything you're looking for begins the moment you say yes to you. The most important decision you will ever make is to stop waiting to become the person you already are. You don't need more time, more approval, more reassurance. What you need is full ownership. Ownership of your mind. Ownership of your energy. Ownership of your direction. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. The longer you wait to think about yourself, the longer you remain trapped in roles that no longer reflect who you've become. You were never meant to live small just because others are more comfortable when you don't change. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to grow beyond the limits they placed on you. There is nothing selfish about choosing your peace, nothing wrong with protecting your boundaries. You're not required to break yourself into pieces so others can stay whole. You weren't born to carry burdens that were never yours. And deep down, you know this. You've just forgotten how to listen to your own inner truth. That truth, the one you've buried under years of pleasing and proving, is still there. It hasn't died. It's waiting for you to remember. Waiting for you to trust that honoring yourself doesn't mean you love others less. It means you finally decided to love yourself enough. You cannot keep postponing your life for the sake of appearances. The longer you ignore what's true for you, the heavier everything becomes. Every yes that should have been a no adds weight to your soul. Every smile you fake creates distance from your own heart. And eventually you forget what your joy even looks like. But you can come back. You can rebuild. You can realign. It starts with one decision. To make yourself a priority. Not sometimes, but always. You can still love people and walk away from what doesn't align. You can still care deeply and choose a different path. This isn't about abandoning others. It's about refusing to abandon yourself. Your life is not meant to be a quiet apology. You don't exist to make others comfortable at the cost of your own identity. You're not here to survive unnoticed. You are here to live fully, honestly, audaciously. That starts by thinking about yourself with compassion, not judgment. You are allowed to need rest. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to dream bigger than what others think is possible. Every time you choose yourself, you build a foundation that no one can shake. A self-worth that doesn't crumble when people leave. A peace that doesn't vanish when things get hard. A purpose that burns brighter with every decision made in alignment with your truth. This is your reminder. Your voice matters. Your needs matter. Your boundaries matter. This isn't ego. This is self-respect. And when you stand in it, the world adjusts. You're not asking for space. You're claiming it. Not because you need to be seen, but because you're done being invisible. Choose yourself without hesitation. Think about yourself without guilt. Because no one else can live your life but you. You were not born to be background noise in your own life. You were not made to exist quietly while your dreams fade into silence. The voice inside you that's been telling you to rise, to shift, to break through. It's not random. It's not weakness. It's truth. And you can either keep pushing it down, or you can finally listen. You can finally accept that you've outgrown who you used to be. You've evolved. You've seen too much, felt too much, endured too much to stay stuck in a version of life that doesn't reflect your soul. Thinking about yourself is not a disruption to your life. It's the beginning of finally living it. There is nothing more dangerous than ignoring yourself, because when you ignore yourself long enough, you begin to believe that your needs don't matter, that your dreams are too big, that your feelings are too much. And that lie becomes your reality. It becomes the lens you see through. So you stop asking, you stop reaching, you stop becoming. But deep down, the fire never goes out. No matter how long you've been disconnected from your own power, it still burns. And it's waiting for you to stop dimming, waiting for you to stop settling, waiting for you to stop choosing peace for others while you live in conflict within. You are allowed to be bold. You are allowed to want more, need more, be more, be more. This life will not hand you peace. You have to create it. It will not offer you space. You have to take. But that power already lives in you. Every time you choose yourself, you strengthen it. Every time you say no to what drains you, you protect it. Every time you set a boundary, you reinforce it. This isn't selfish. This is sacred. This is how you reclaim the pieces of yourself that the world taught you to ignore. Stop asking who you need to become to be accepted. Start asking what you need to release to become free. The real you, the whole you, doesn't need fixing. You don't need to prove your value by doing more, giving more, sacrificing more. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to justify peace. You are enough when you choose to be. You are worthy when you decide you are. And once you accept that, no one can take it from you. Not rejection. Shoo. Not failure. Not silence. Nothing. This is your moment to stand in your truth, to protect your energy, to trust your intuition even when it's inconvenient, to walk your path even if no one claps, to choose your life over their comfort. You don't need more time. You need more truth. You don't need to be louder. You need to be clearer. Think about yourself, not just once in a while, but constantly, fearlessly, unapologetically. Because this is your life, and the most powerful thing you'll ever do is own it completely. You don't owe the world a watered-down version of who you are. You don't exist to constantly explain, justify, or shrink yourself so others can feel comfortable. You're here to take up space, not in arrogance, but in truth, in full, grounded, unapologetic truth. Thinking about yourself is not a rejection of others. It's a deep, radical act of honesty. And honesty is the foundation of any life worth living. If you continue to live for approval, you'll never know the power of living in alignment. If you keep chasing what impresses others, you'll forget what fulfills you. Fulfillment comes from the inside. It comes from clarity. It comes from being rooted in your own values, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's when most people abandon themselves, when it gets uncomfortable, when it gets quiet, when it gets real. But if you can stay with yourself in those moments, if you can choose your truth, even when it's not popular, you step into a kind of freedom that no one can take away. That's what happens when you stop living on other people's timelines. When you stop carrying the weight of their expectations. Well, when you finally look at your life and ask, does this reflect who I really am? And if the answer is no, you have a responsibility to change it. No one is coming to save you from a life you're afraid to leave. No one can rescue you from the patterns you refuse to break. But the good news is you don't need saving. You need remembering. Remember who you were before fear got loud, before you believed your worth was something to earn, before you became so busy surviving that you forgot how to live. That version of you isn't gone. It's just buried under years of noise. And the more you think about yourself, not your image, but your essence, the more that version rises. Stronger, louder, clearer. You don't have to explain your growth. You don't have to convince anyone that your evolution is valid. Growth is not a group project. It's personal. It's sacred. And it's your responsibility. You are not designed to remain the same. You are designed to shift, to release, to rise. And that can't happen if you keep ignoring the signs. The heaviness, the restlessness, the moments where you feel disconnected from your own life, those aren't random. They're reminders. Reminders that you deserve more than just going through the motions. You deserve depth, meaning, joy. But you won't find any of that if you keep looking outward. It begins within, so go inward, reconnect, realign. Your time is not endless. Your energy is not infinite. Use both wisely. Spend them on what builds you, not just what distracts you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply being called to return to yourself. Answer that call fully, fiercely, because your life isn't waiting for anyone else. It's waiting for you. Every moment you hesitate to put yourself first, you give away your power. You hand over your energy to distractions, doubts, and fears that don't serve you. This is the invisible toll of neglecting yourself, a slow draining of your spirit until you wonder why you feel so empty. Despite everything you've done for others, you must realize that prioritizing yourself is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Your mind, body, and soul require your attention like a garden needs water. Without it, you wither. But when you choose to nurture yourself, you grow into the fullest version of who you were always meant to be. Thinking about yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is a declaration of self-worth. It sends a message that you are valuable enough to invest in, worthy enough to protect, and strong enough to set limits. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges. Bridges to clarity, to peace, to authenticity. When you establish these boundaries, you don't isolate yourself. You honor your needs in a way that allows you to show up more fully for everything and everyone that truly matters. This clarity, this protection, becomes the foundation for the transformation you seek. You will face resistance, sometimes from within, sometimes from those who want you to stay small. That resistance is natural. It's a test of your commitment to yourself. It challenges the strength of your new path. But remember, growth never happens without challenge. You'll care. The discomfort you feel is the signpost pointing you towards something greater. When you persist through this discomfort, you redefine your limits. You prove to yourself that your desires and dreams are worth fighting for. Every moment you choose yourself over old patterns, you are reshaping your future. The truth is, nobody else will fight as hard for your well-being as you will. People will love you, support you, or question you, but ultimately, the responsibility for your life rests with you alone. That weight can feel heavy, but it is also liberating. It means you have the power to change course, to rewrite your story, to reclaim your peace. You do not need anyone's permission to prioritize your healing, your growth, your happiness. This freedom is yours when you stop neglecting yourself and start embracing your worth. You've carried too much for too long. Expectations, disappointments, sacrifices made in silence. But your value is not defined by how much you give to others at your own expense. It's defined by how fully you love yourself when no one is watching. The moment you decide to put yourself first, you activate a ripple effect. Your confidence grows. Your energy expands. Your choices become more aligned with who you truly are. This alignment is magnetic. It draws in the right opportunities, the right people, the right circumstances. Your life begins to shift, not because the world changed, but because you did. So stop postponing your own awakening. Stop making excuses for why now isn't the right time. The only time you truly have is this moment. Use it wisely. Choose yourself today. Think about yourself always. Because when you do, you are not only changing your life, you are becoming the person you were always destined to be. You have been carrying invisible weights for far too long, expectations that were never yours, fears you never chose, and judgments that cloud your vision. Each day, you spend doubting your worth, postponing your dreams, or silencing your needs. You chip away at the foundation of your own happiness. But the truth is, you hold the key to unlock your freedom, the power to redefine what matters, the courage to break free from the chains of approval, and the wisdom to honor yourself unapologetically all reside within you. The moment you decide to think about yourself first, you reclaim your life. You step into a space where your energy flows freely, your purpose shines brightly, and your spirit feels whole again. This is not about selfishness. It is about survival of your soul, your passion, your truth. When you begin to place your needs at the center, you create a ripple effect that transforms every part of your existence. You'll find your mind clears. You'll feel less drained. You'll notice that the chaos outside doesn't shake you as much because you've built an unshakable foundation inside. It is within this foundation that resilience is born. Resilience that withstands setbacks, rejections, and failures without losing sight of your worth. Because when you think about yourself first, you are sending a powerful signal to yourself and to the world that you are no longer willing to settle for less than you deserve. Your time, energy, and attention are your most precious resources. How you spend them shapes the life you live. Investing them in yourself is the most radical and transformative act you can take. It means saying no to what drains you, no to toxic relationships, no to endless sacrifices that leave you empty. It means saying yes to rest, yes to growth, yes to boundaries that protect your peace. The choice to prioritize yourself is a choice to respect the life you've been given. It's a declaration that your happiness is not negotiable. And when you claim this truth, you are not only healing yourself, you are inspiring others to do the same. Let go of the guilt that tries to sneak in when you put yourself first. That guilt is a lie designed to keep you stuck. You deserve compassion, kindness, and patience, especially from yourself. There is a strength in nurturing yourself, a courage in protecting your heart, and a bravery in standing firm when the world demands otherwise. Each time you choose yourself, you grow stronger. You become more confident in your decisions, more fearless in your ambitions, and more grounded in your authenticity. Imagine waking up every day fully aligned with who you are, no longer afraid to say what you need, no longer trapped by the fear of disappointing others. Imagine the freedom in knowing that your worth does not depend on external validation. That kind of freedom changes everything. It fuels creativity, ignites passion, and opens doors to opportunities you never thought possible. But it all begins with a simple yet powerful choice. To think about yourself always, because when you do, you begin to live a life that honors your truth, your dreams, and your deepest desires. And that is where true transformation starts. You have been taught to believe that putting yourself first is selfish, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Prioritizing yourself is the foundation of true strength, the bedrock upon which your entire life is built. When you think about yourself always, you are not turning your back on others. You are creating the stability needed to show up as your fullest self in every area of your life. Without this inner focus, you become drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected. You begin to live a life dictated by the needs and demands of others, losing sight of your own voice, your own path, your own power. But when you claim your right to self-care, self-respect, and self-love, you unlock a deep well of energy that fuels courage, clarity, and relentless drive. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how the world treats you. If you ignore your own needs, tolerate disrespect, or silence your truth, you are giving permission for others to do the same. But when you decide that your well-being is non-negotiable, when you hold your boundaries firm, the energy you project changes everything. You start to attract respect, genuine connections, and opportunities aligned with your highest good. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent daily commitment to your inner life, to pause and check in with yourself, to listen to your emotions without judgment, to honor your intuition even when it's uncomfortable. This is how transformation happens. There is a profound power in self-awareness. When you think about yourself deeply and honestly, you begin to recognize the patterns that no longer serve you. You see where you've given away your power, where you have accepted less than you deserve, and where you've been complicit in your own limitation. This realization can feel painful, but it is necessary. Pain is a signal, not a sentence. It calls you to awaken, to evolve, to reclaim what is rightfully yours, your joy, your freedom, your life. The moment you embrace this discomfort and refuse to settle for anything less than alignment with your truth, you break free from the invisible chains holding you back. You are not defined by your past mistakes, your fears, or the judgments of others. You are defined by your capacity to rise again and again, to choose yourself even when it feels impossible. This choice requires bravery, a bravery that is quiet and steadfast. It means showing up for yourself in the small moments when no one is watching. It means speaking your truth even if your voice shakes. It means loving yourself fiercely when the world feels cold. This is not weakness. This is revolutionary strength. The world needs you fully alive, not diminished or hidden. Your dreams, your passions, your unique gifts are essential. They matter. So choose yourself relentlessly, protect your time, nurture your spirit, and prioritize your growth. When you do, you light a fire that cannot be extinguished. Your life becomes a beacon of possibility, not just for you, but for everyone around you. This is the power of thinking about yourself always. It transforms your inner world, and with it, everything else changes too.